Hey guys, welcome back to the Book Haven with Rachel and Raven. We're so glad you're here. Grab something yummy to drink and let's get this episode started. So, today we're going to be talking about books that are turning into movies and how you should read the book first. So, we're going to start off today with the bookish question, which is, what is your favorite book turned movie?
Okay, so mine is not necessarily a movie, it's a series of movies. I think actually originally when they were coming out, they might have been miniseries. I'm not really sure. But it's the Anne series. So Anne of Green Gables, Anne of Avonlea, and Anne. Oh, what's the last one? Anne of Avonlea. Anyways, and there's actually four because they ended up making like a fourth one. And the fourth one is not totally true to the books. Like, I don't even know if
No, it's not
I
at
don't think
all.
it is at all. But
Yeah.
the other ones, I think they do an okay job. And all of the characters are really lovable. And yeah, so that is like a tradition that every October we watch through the Anne series um, in our house, and it's just a lot of fun. So that would be my favorite.
And I looked up the year because we were talking about this.
Yeah.
It's 1985 that the first Anne of Green Gables started.
What?
Isn't that crazy?
Wow. Okay, so Rachel, what is your um, favorite book to movie? I feel like I know this, but go ahead.
So I really, really liked the Guernsey Literary and Potato Peel Pie Society movie. I know I've already talked about how that was a book that I didn't care for, but the movie is so well done. And I feel like because it's written in letters, it really needed the movie to kind of like flush out all of the stuff that you weren't getting in the letters. So I feel
Hmm.
like that was a great book to make into a movie, and that is one of the few times that I would say that I like the movie more than I like the book.
That one was really well done. I think they did a really great job with that movie. Um,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. And
Can you
then
have another one?
I yes. So I really really like the Hunger Games series movies. I think because I really liked those books, and it's just kind of like watching the movie is a very easy way to consume those stories again. Very similar to Harry Potter because they are so faithful to the books that it's kind of like you can just kind of step in that world without committing to rereading the books,
Yeah,
if that makes
I
any
would agree
sense.
with that.
Yeah. So that's where I kind of fall in with my movie loving. I can't think of a series that I like that was a book, like based on a book that I really like.
Well, you mean like a
Besides
TV show?
Anne. Yeah. Besides I
Oh.
think the first series of Anne is so well done. And I
Hmm.
think that's pretty faithful to the book. But once you start going on into those other like seasons or whatever you want to call them, um, it starts getting further away. And
Yeah.
that last one where he goes off to war and she goes with him or something, like that is not in the book at all. Like
Yeah.
at all.
Yeah.
Like he doesn't even go off to World War One, I don't remember. I don't
No,
think he
because I think
does.
by the time, I mean, he's like too old for that by the time it comes to that in the movie. I mean, in the books.
Right, right.
Yeah.
He's at home.
So
So
they
anyways,
completely went off on that one. And that is like probably my least favorite of all of them. I think my
yeah.
favorite is probably Anne of Avonlea. Um,
Yeah, when they're a little bit older.
yeah.
Yeah. So anyways, okay. So a book that you need to read now because the movie is coming out soon is All the Light We Cannot See by Anthony Doerr. Is that how you say his last name?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
Door? Door. Yes, door.
Anyways, so we actually just finished rereading this book, both of us, because we read it several years ago and wanted to freshen up before we watch the movie, which I think is actually a series. I don't know.
Yeah.
I can't
Oh yeah,
remember.
you did tell me that.
I
Like
think
maybe
I
it was
I think
coming
I
on
looked it up.
Netflix and it's not. No, I thought it was coming in theaters. I don't
No,
know.
it's not coming in theaters.
That's sad. Um, yeah, I'm really excited about it. I really hope that they stay true to the story. Like this is a book that is a little bit more of a the writing is a little bit it's different. It's not really fast paced. I don't really know how you would describe it. I think some people have described it as it's a form of poetry, just the way he describes things and talks about things. Um, but it's so good. I think he just does a really great job with words and like taking all of these stories, and the whole time you're wondering like how are all these people's paths gonna cross, and how is this story gonna like you know come
Makes sense.
together, um and you want to find out, right? So but it's he just does a really great job at that. But yeah, so you want to tell a little bit about the story, about what kind of what the blurb of the story is?
Well, I'm looking at what the movie plot says, but so it is a mini series. It's going to be 4 episodes, and it's coming out on Netflix on November 2nd. So you have plenty of time to read this book, and it's
Yes,
so worth it.
it is
Um,
worth the read.
I just watched the trailer again, having reread the book, and it's so fresh. And it looks like it's going to be pretty faithful. Um, because I kind of wondered if maybe they were going to cut out some storylines, but it doesn't look like they did. So, this is one of those books that has two perspectives, and then there's a third perspective kind of thrown in there,
Yeah.
but it doesn't take up that much of the story. So it doesn't feel overwhelming. You definitely, when you're reading the book, I think going like, when, like you said, what, how are these people going to be connected? Because they're all kind of just, so the girl is in France and the guy is in Germany. And so you kind of get to see both sides of World War II,
Hmm.
and kind of how they end up, how it all ends up coming together. It is a beautifully written book. I gave it 5 stars. I think you gave it 5 stars. It is a very, very well done book. Um, so if you have not read it, even if you're not planning to watch the miniseries, you still need to add this one to your list because it is so well done. It is definitely PG-13.
Yeah.
Um, if not, like, I would read it before you hand it to a teenager. Just because the guy is in the army in Germany, and so there's like that crassness that comes with, you know, men in army
Hmm.
time. But it is just such a beautifully, beautifully told story.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
And the cover is beautiful. I was just thinking about this. I lost my book jacket to my hard copy. um, but I think that I don't know where it's at. I did lend it to Rachel. Rachel, did you
me?
trash my book cover? No, I'm just kidding. No, but the cover of this one is so beautiful. And I don't know. I probably took it off, and now I can't find it. It's probably like shoved behind a bookshelf
I had no
accidentally.
idea that you secretly in your heart think that I did something with that dust jacket.
Yes, I'm holding
I
resentment.
feel so bad. I don't think it was me though.
No, I don't think it was. I think we did take it off just because you were like, yeah, you're. I'm gonna lose that.
Yeah, I
But I
definitely
do
don't like
remember taking it off.
borrowing. I definitely don't like borrowing books that have a dust jacket because I don't like reading with the dust jacket on.
Yeah,
So, yeah.
but the even just the without the dust jacket, I love the shades of blue that they picked, and yeah. Anyways, I was just looking at the cover here on Amazon. I was like, oh, it's just so beautifully done. um,
Yeah.
but
It's a good book all the way around. It's one that you
it really is.
need to buy, and like you won't regret buying it.
Yeah. And
That's
I
my
so
plot.
I read it back in 2016. I think it was around 2016 when I read it. And I really like cuz it's been a long time, right? So I there were things that I thought I remembered that happened in the story, and it was just like this fraction of the story that I remembered. And so it was like reading it for the first time this um this go around, and that was really pleasantly surprising to me too. Just I don't know. He does a really great job with words and
Yeah,
building a story and all of
for
that.
sure. For sure. Um, okay. Do you want to say anything else about the beloved All the Light We Cannot See?
I I I can't without giving any spoilers.
I
So,
know. Yeah. It's hard because the stories are so um I feel like intertwined too that you really can't
mhm.
talk about much about it without giving it away with
Yeah,
kind of how it all works together.
I'm excited to see what they do with the show,
Yeah,
movie,
for sure.
series, whatever it is.
Yes. Yeah. We will let everyone know our thoughts and opinions on it.
Yeah, and let us know if you guys read this book. Like, take a picture of yourself with the book and tag us in it because we would love to know um, if you guys are reading it
And what you thought.
and what you thought. Yeah,
Yeah. You cannot like it and we'll still be okay with it. But
yeah,
it's definitely one of our joint favorite ones. So, and I did the same thing. Like when I went to reread it, I did not remember um like the intricateness of all of the stories. So it was like I was reading it almost for the first time. Like I kind of remembered, but not enough for it to be
yeah,
boring. So,
yeah,
um, okay. And then the next one is Ballad of Songbird and Snake, which is Suzanne Collins, who wrote The Hunger Games. So you automatically know I'm going to be interested. Um, and it is the prequel to The Hunger Games, which means it takes place before the Hunger Games series happens. And it
yeah.
is about President Snow as a young man, um, and kind of how he gets to be the way he is in when you finally
Why
meet
are
him
you
in
the
the
way
Hunger.
that you are?
Yes, I don't know that we needed a villain origin story. Like if she was gonna write anything in this world again, I would have probably picked any other character besides this,
Yeah,
in my personal opinion. But
yeah,
I am excited to go see the movie.
yeah, yeah. I didn't like this book at all. I just, ugh, it was.
It's
I don't know.
hard to read a book from a perspective of somebody who you know is going to be bad. Like,
Yeah,
so you automatically know going in, there's no redeeming,
yeah. I
you know?
really, I guess I was hoping for some sort of redemption of like, or even just understanding why you are the way that you are. But I think because I just dislike him so very much, I don't know that it would have mattered. I don't know. Yeah, the book was hard to read because I also felt like it was a completely different um, pace in that book than her
Yeah.
other
Yeah.
books. So yeah,
Well, and I
I
I think that if you've read through the Hunger Games series, I think the Ballad of Songbird and Snake very much kind of feels like the last Hunger Games book. Like in
yeah,
that pacing and that kind of storytelling,
mm-hmm,
which I know not everyone liked that one either.
yeah,
So, um, but I do think this one was hard to get through because it's just ugh. It's like you can't even talk about it
the
without
the disgust.
the spoileries of it, but
Yeah,
it's so very hard to. So I'm kind of hoping that the movie will make that better because you're getting to see more of it looks like they're going to show more of the girl's perspective.
mm-hmm,
Um and kind of her side of the story, which you don't get in the book. You only get his side of the story. So, I'm kind of hoping maybe that will bring like more redeeming qualities to it. I don't know.
yeah,
But I am excited to go see this. We will I was just talking to my daughter about it the other day. Like I really want to go when it comes out. It comes out November 17th and that one is going to theaters. That is a movie. Um but I'm excited to go see it.
yeah. I think it'll be interesting.
I kind of went back and forth on whether or not I should reread the book before I go see that one. And
Meh.
I just don't know if I can bring myself to reread it.
You do not get those hours back.
No, you don't. And that is not a small book.
Yeah,
Like, yeah. I can remember I devoured it very quickly because I was so excited to read something new from her from the Hunger Games world. But
Yeah.
when it was done, I was kind of like, really, any other character would have been awesome.
Yeah.
Or
I agree.
the only reason I do like that book is because of all of the backstory that she gives for so many things that it's almost like a book just full of Easter eggs for the Hunger
Hmm.
Games series. And so in that aspect, I there are things that I did like of it. I just didn't like that it was his story.
Yeah, I would agree with that. There were things that I'm like, oh, okay, so that's why whatever, happened. Or, yeah, that's a good way to put that. There's little Easter eggs in there
Well,
explaining
and like
things.
one of the songs that they sing in Hunger Games or in that series, you find out where that originated and like all of
Yeah.
those cool kind of things. Yeah. I think it's a
Hmm.
nod to all of her faithful readers from the Hunger Games. It just why? Why did you pick that character? I don't know.
Oh.
So, anyway, so those are our two movies that are coming out that we've both read the books for and that we both encourage you, even though we have not really promoted Ballad of Songbird and Snake. I still think it's worth, if you've never read it, to read it before you go see the movie. Like
Yeah,
that should
or
just be
if you've
kind of like
never
a
read
blanket rule.
yeah, or if you don't want to read that one and you've never read The Hunger Games, just go read The Hunger Games.
Oh, for sure. If you haven't read The Hunger Games, go do that. Turn this off and
Exactly.
go.
Exactly.
um, and that's a great series. Like, I think my daughter has read through them. Your daughter has read through them.
Hmm.
Both of your daughters?
Both of all of my
Yeah,
children,
yeah.
because they wanted to watch the movies, and I'm a hard nose about you have to read the book first. And so they kind of all did at different times. And well, actually, both of my daughters have read through the books at this point at least twice.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Livy listens to the audiobooks
Yeah.
in order to reread them now, but yeah, they love them. So,
That's so funny because my daughter is so much like me. Like we did it once and we're good. Although I will say that I reread because I read that series way back. Um and so I did reread them when my daughter was reading them so that I could kind of have conversations
yeah.
um and remember the stuff more vividly. But again, that series is one that would be fun to do with your kids too, is reading through those books, and then when you finish one of those books, you watch the movie.
Hmm. That's what we
So,
did, and it was a lot of fun.
yeah.
I made them read through the entire series. That way, we could do a whole marathon of the movies.
Oh,
Um,
wow.
yeah, and then my daughter, so Livy, um, finished reading through them. So she's my youngest, and my oldest had already read through them, I think, twice. And then they got a friend on board, and then they had a complete Hunger Games marathon one Friday afternoon, evening, and that was a lot of fun. So we
That
had,
sounds like a lot of fun.
yeah,
Yay, yay for book friends.
yes. So we kind of had like a little mini like book club slash movie watching party, because I went and I got um, lamb, because in the book she like ate lamb stew or something when she was in the Capitol.
Yeah,
So and got that, and then we had Cracker Jacks, but we called them, what do we
Jackie
call them?
Trackers.
Yes. And so, anyways, so that was kind of funny. We kind of marked up the packaging, and anyways, it was kind of fun, and they just
That's a
ate
plug.
junk food and watched
Yeah,
movies.
that's another plug for like, and we're going to totally talk about book club and doing book club and stuff like that. But really, you do not have to overthink doing a book club
No.
with your kids or like with your kids and one other friend, or like
Yeah.
it doesn't have to be this big thing. It can just be like, oh, we both read those books, like let's watch the movie.
Yeah. And it's still memorable. Like I think I used to overthink things so much, and really honestly, like, and we'll talk about this in the podcast for book club, but um just picking a food thing, and or finding some kind of, I don't know, there's so many ideas online, and just picking one or two things, and you know what,
Mm-hmm.
they remember that, they remember, oh, Remember when we had lamb and we watched the Hunger Games?
I do not remember when I don't know that I've ever consumed lamb. I'll
It's
have to
very
come to
good.
your book club next time. But
Well, you just go to Fadi's, Rachel.
oh, that's true. Foddy's is our
Get
favorite.
get some lamb kebabs. Fadi's,
Yes.
if you want to sponsor us, we will
Foddy's
advertise your
Foddy's
hummus.
is yes, Foddy's is a Greek. Is it a Greek restaurant?
It's Mediterranean.
Mediterranean. That's what it is.
Yeah,
Um and oh, they do have such good food. That's where we always go when it's just the two of us. And
because nobody else in our families
no,
like will eat there with us.
will want to go. But I was just gonna say my last little tidbit for the book club thing is to like sometimes when you go to get ideas, you see the extravagance of what some people do, and that's
Yeah,
crazy. So it can be super fun and you can go all out if that is your forte, but I am not a party planner. That is not my jam. So I love to pick the book. I love to discuss the book and I will come up with some sort of crazy thing to do at the party, but I'm not going to be the one that's like decorating all of the things and making it, all of, like Pinterest worthy is what I'm trying to
Rachel
get
is
at.
very modest because one of our book clubs, she did something extraordinary. And so I'm just saying, y'all get ready for book club because that book club
Are you talking
episode.
about the cake?
Yes, I'm talking
We'll have
about
to
the
show.
cake.
Yes, when we talk about book club, we will tell you show you all of our things. But I'm saying even that I literally made a cake and like a cake from the grocery store, put grocery store frosting on it, and just wrote out
Something.
something. Like it is not complicated, but it was hilarious and the kids thought it was hilarious
It was the
and it's
highlight of
so
the whole book
memorable.
club.
And it was like so stupid and I did it on a whim. So again, it doesn't need to be picture Pinterest worthy as long as you have a good time and your kids have a good time or whoever's doing the book club with you. It can be adults too.
Yeah.
Like you just make it a good time. Don't get
Or
super stressed
just
with the
go to the
details.
movie theater and watch the movie as like a celebration of your reading in the book together. Yeah. And
Yes.
and
Yeah.
call that book club. It doesn't have to
Yes.
be
Exactly.
so,
Or go
so
to the
crazy.
movie. What you could do is you could go see the movie and then you could go and get coffee or go get like ice cream, some sort of
Yeah.
treat afterwards and discuss how was the movie compared to the book? What did you think? Did they change the characters or like all of these different things? And your kids will
Yeah.
remember that.
They
Your
will
friends
remember
will
that.
remember that. I can remember I went to Hunger Games when they were coming out, there was a group of friends that I had, and we would go see all of them every year
Hmm.
because they came out every year in a row, right? And it was so much fun. So
Yep.
much fun. So, book club is not just for little kids or
No.
kids. They're for
Ev-
anybody.
for everybody.
All are welcome. Okay. Anyways, my last little thing was that there's two books that have movies coming out soon ish that I just wanted to throw in for extra. So the first one is Dune Part 2, which I know Raven does not want to have anything to do with this. Dune is a sci fi book that came out like ages ago, very much kind of in the same vein as like Star Wars, whatever. The first movie, so Dune Part 1, came out a few years ago, I think, at this point. And then the Part 2 is coming out in March. It's only based on one book, though. So you could just read the one book and cover your bases with both movies. But I really, really enjoyed it. And I think it's beautiful cinematography. Because it takes place in space and all that kind of fun stuff. But that's my plug for a sci-fi movie. And then the second one is Wonka, which comes out December 15th, which I don't know how many more Charlie and the Chocolate Factory based movies we need at this point, but that is
Yeah.
a great time to read Charlie and the Chocolate Factory and then take your kids to go see the movie. That comes out December 15th.
Yeah. I don't know how many more they can make, but they do know that Roald Dahl wrote a lot of other books that they could really probably spin really well. Um,
Well, I feel like they've made a lot of versions of Matilda too.
yeah, yeah, I don't know.
But yes, there
I'm just
are I know.
He
It's
he's got other masterpieces out there.
well, and it's interesting that they keep wanting to go back to Wonka and like doing Wonka's point of view or something like that. When the book
Yeah,
is yes, Wonka is there, but it's called Charlie and the Chocolate Factory.
yeah.
So he's not the main focus. I guess maybe would you say in the glass elevator he's more kind of main charactery? I don't even
I
know that
think
I
he
would say
is
that.
more. I don't know. I feel like he is a little bit more in that one. And don't get me wrong. Like when I say they need to quit making the Wonka movies, I'm not really saying that. But those, I mean, I do feel like that was his finest hour. Those books were really great. We love
Yes,
those
yeah,
books. Um, I just feel like they keep trying to remake stuff, and they could. I mean, there's fresh material out there. You just gotta grab hold of it. Um,
right.
but yeah, I don't know. What is this one? Kind of what angle are they coming at with this one that's coming out? Do you know?
I think this movie is going to be it seems like it's like a younger Wonka. So like when he actually meets the Oompa Loompas and kind
Oh,
of that part of his story, which I kind of feel like they covered a little bit of that when they did the Johnny Depp version.
okay.
But so I have no idea. It looks funny. I mean, we will go see it. It it looks funny. I don't know how much I mean, I don't know. Is any of that in the book? I don't remember them talking about his past or how he came to be in the book at all. So I don't know
Yeah, I
where
think
they're
they do
getting the
though.
oh, do they?
Yeah,
Maybe
I
this
feel
is
like
one that
in
I
one of
need to
them they do.
reread before we go see it.
Yeah, he kind of briefly like talks about. I kind of remember something about him talking about meeting the Oompa Loompas and
Maybe going
all
on
of
an
that.
exploration. That's what I kind of remember
Yeah,
and finding
yeah.
them. Yeah, I kind of remember that, but it was like maybe a paragraph or two and now we've spun like whole movies out of it. I don't know. But
I know.
anyway, so it'll be interesting to see where it goes. But again, this is a great opportunity to read this with your kids and then go
Yeah,
make a date of seeing it's coming out in December. Could be a fun Christmas thing that you go do. Like,
yeah,
um, and it looks funny if nothing else, if it's not close to the book. But again, you could talk about why did they choose to do that?
yeah, yeah.
So there's that.
Hey guys, we've come to the end of another episode, and we hope that we have inspired you to read something new or reread something old. And if you wouldn't mind, we would ask that you would just give us a thumbs up, a like, a subscribe on whatever platform you're listening to this on. And even just give us a comment. Let us know if there's something that we've inspired you to read. Just let us know how you're enjoying this little podcast of ours on this little corner of the internet. And we will catch you guys next time.